Hello, this is Hellsen, and welcome to our play by email vs Deaniks. Now, this is using the Pacific First mod and then using variants on top of that. Now, as some of you all might know, we have started this game not once, not twice, but this is the third attempt. The first couple times the mod was kind of messed up, so we had to restart it, remod a couple things that we couldn't do mid-game, and then we proceeded to do it the first time. Very good start. Something came up, had to restart again. Second time, very good start, had to do it again. So on the third time, we were like, let's go ahead and spend more points, like on more variants to make it worthwhile, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and go over our variants of changes. I think we did something like 150 points or something. It was ridiculous. We did a lot of points, and I'm gonna go over the variants that I changed. Now I'll bring these over. So my idea was, because we were already stretching the limits of our economy, like how much we could build, how much fuel our ships were going to use. So I wasn't going to do new ships or anything like that. So I was just going to build up our economy and then make what ships we had better, and then added some forces to our army, right? So we spent about 42 points in economy. Added a size 50 oil to Tokyo. I took the max we could take in fuel, so I added an extra 300,000 fuel. I added the max we could use oil. So we got an extra 750k oil in the home islands. I took the max we could take for resources. I added an extra 1.5 mil resources to home island. I did increase the airfield level at Chiang Mai and Pasanoluk, the two in Burma or Thailand. So I increased the airfield here to 2 and increased the airfield from here to 2. So that means I'm like starting off, I can start sweeping from here and doing offensive actions, because Burma and the Indian Ocean are probably going to end up being our places to die on, right? So it's going to be the big things. So we did that. Added 5 new leaders, and then I added about 20 points worth of skills to leaders, just to make super leaders and things like that. And then I added 150 refinery to Tokyo to refine all the new oil, and plus that we got it. I spent about 16 points in air, most of it just adding extra aircraft. I added an extra 50 Jakes, so we can go ahead and upgrade all our light cruisers, Alfs, and Petes and that to Jakes. Added about 100 Stukas, some of the D1 and D3 class, because they carry like 1,000 kilogram bombs. It's like very heavy bombs. I added 150 Judy C's. That cost me 6 points. Now the reason I did this is because I am increasing the size of aircraft on our, or how much capacity on our CVLs and CVs. So I wanted to add in an extra squadron of Judy C's, which are our recon, so for naval search. So we don't have to use our valves for naval search. I'm adding the Judy C's for naval search, and they actually have a higher naval search than the valves. I resized the 27th and 6th squadrons to 50. No planes, just those resizing to 50. And then we spent about 80 points on the Navy. All right, so I've upgraded the Nagato, the Mutsu, the Hasu, the Kiri, the Sasuga, the Tokachi, and the Kurama to ice hybrid BBs. So these were all sort of the older battleships or Kai battleships that I'm like, you know what? We're going to make these float plane battleships, because when I increase their capacity by 5 to each one of these guys, which cost me 8 points, that means I can carry 31 float planes on each one of these. I put 2 of these with the carriers. I have an extra 62 float planes for low cap to defend against torpedo bombers. Since we only had 7 that I could upgrade, I went ahead and bought an extra one to get between December and June, because I want 4 carrier task force. So that will come some, it cost me 8 points, and we'll get that in March. That's what I rolled. As I said, I added 5 capacity to all those BBs. So those now for 8 points. So that means each one of them carries 31. I added 5 capacity to my full plane cruisers, which I had 8 of those. Those were 13, now they're 18, which means they carry 20-ish now. I added 10 capacity to all my Hakura class CVs. That's about 22 of those, which means they can carry 135 airplanes now. And then I added 10 to my Ibuki CVLs, which they were at 60. That put them at 70. Now they can carry 80 aircraft. I upgraded 8 AKLs to AOs, some of the heavier ones. I upgraded 8 more of my subs to the torpedo pane aircraft carriers. I mean, plane carriers that are pretty much OP. They're ridiculous. So we got an extra 8 of those to play with, which are fun. I added extra 3 guards divisions because we're already stretching our tank capability as is. So we got an extra 3 guards divisions coming in July and November, December. I rolled really bad on these guys. So I took a playbook from Dean and I started upgrading some of my divisions. So we'll take a look at, basically, I went to my land units, right? I was like, oh, okay, turn all these off. We'll turn on AV. I was like, and then I was like, let me find the most experienced units that I can find and then upgrade them. So like 38th division here, right? It's an XP 30 or 80 and a 90 morale unit, right? So I'm like, all right. So I upgraded their squadrons to Raider Squadron. This is the best infantry we get. Now I actually can't build these until January, which lets me do it, but I can't build them until January. So these guys are supersized, right? These are the best infantry units we can get. I did the 38th, the 48th division. I did the 55th Imperial Guards Division. Now these are the 2 that are on the road already into Burma. And I even did a little bit better here where I upgraded one of their artilleries to 41 centimeter howitzers, which are basically railroad guns. They're basically 16-inch guns that I'm packing around here, right? For heavy siege ability. I added 2 of these guys that, now these things pretty much take like an AKL per, or an AK per piece to transfer. So these guys I put in Burma and China. I got 2 in China as well. They're not leaving land, right? They're not going by sea anywhere because they're so heavy. So these guys are literally just for siege in Burma and China. And then also these, you know, these got the Raider Squadrons. These are my super siege units for Burma and that. I don't think I did 4th div, did I not? Yeah, I didn't do 4th div. 21st didn't get it. 14th div is one of the ones that I upgraded for China, along with 9th div, which is here. So there you got the Raider Squadrons and the 41 centimeter guns. And then we can take a look at, let's see here. 5th, 18th, and 2nd were the other ones that got Raider Squadrons. And then I changed the 6th, 1st, and 4th tank divisions. I changed their medium tanks to Tiger 1s. And then on the 1st and 3rd independent grade, I changed their medium tanks to Tiger 1s. Now these we don't build until a while. So if we start losing, as these guys get weaker, as we lose them, we can't replace their losses. So, but it takes a lot to take out a Tiger 1. So we shouldn't lose a whole bunch of these, outright destroyed, I'm hoping. Because I don't believe we can build Tigers until like 43, something like that. No, I think that's a Tiger 2, but where are you? Panzer Tiger 1s. Okay, no, we can build these in March. So I have 3 months of combat damage that I have to absorb before I can start replacing losses. And these cost a ridiculous amount of points to build. I didn't know this at the start, but they cost 320 vehicle points per tank. Now I only build like 620, or at the start I only build like 200 points per day. So I'm not even building like one of these a day. So if I take a lot of losses on this, it's going to be really hard for me to rebuild these guys. So hopefully we will not take a lot of losses in our tanks. Now, I did all this and I kind of regretted it because, I mean, it'd be fun, but basically what happened was Dean had seen my start turns, right? I changed it up a little bit, but he saw my starts and he knew what I was going to attack and bomb, and he used most of his points to move everything out. So most of the subs have been moved out of Manila, so our attack will be just a land base. We won't be doing a carrier strike on Manila because it's just not worth it. The land based aircraft should be able to sink everything. He moved most of the ships out of Sora Bayha, so we'll do a strike on here just because I don't have a better option, and we'll get some points there. And then he moved most of all his other combat out of room. We are going to make a strike on Melbourne. We'll hopefully catch a battleship and a couple of destroyers here, and then we'll do a strike on Sydney. Basically, we're going to do a huge strike on Western Australia for resource points and to sink a lot of transports. That's kind of going to be my buffer of points from the start. It's not going to be as good striking his combat power or anything like that, but hopefully I can get almost 2,000 points from these attacks to give me like a little bit of a point buffer. Now, landings, we'll be doing our normal Mersing. We'll be doing a Kuantan. We'll land in Cordoba Peru. I decided to go very heavy on the Philippines starting off. So we will be landing at Cagayan, Cebu on the first turn. We'll be landing at Batangas on the first turn. We'll be landing at Iba on the first turn. We'll be landing at Lingayen on the first turn. We'll be landing at San Fernando on the first turn. We'll be taking these three with para-drop troops. My goal is to secure the Philippines completely before January. Just knock it all out. Knock Java out in January. Have everything done by February. So then I can start pushing Burma very hard. He moved almost all the forces out of Malaya. Like the Indian divisions, or the two divisions here, he moved them out. They're in Burma now. He'd already moved the Australian 8th Division here. He moved an armored unit here. Like, he's got a lot of troops in Burma. This is going to be hard, and it's going to be a big fought battle. You know, Rabaul and all this will be easy. We do have a Southern Strike Force that will be going in later in the game, and I do have forces set up to take the Aleutian Islands and maybe push into Alaska. So, goal is to take Mersing, take Singapore right away, take these guys up. Since he has his entire fleet in basically the Bay of Bengal and over here, I probably will not be doing an amphibious landing at Burma. We will take Malaya, and then these guys here will then have to go take Palembang. Usually I don't land a lot of forces at Palembang, but we're going to have to land a pretty good amount on Palembang this turn because he took the Dutch division that starts at Sawyer Bayha and put him in Palembang. It starts out at like 300 AV, and then he switched his Dutch troops to American raiders. So his best unit that he can possibly have that are ridiculously overpowered, right? So I will be landing like multiple divisions and a lot of troops on Palembang to be able to take that right away. We go ahead and look at infantry here. We'll take a look at the stats for these infantry, right? He's got his other infantry is all going to upgrade really fast. So is mine. Most of my regular troops will be upgrading to Infantry Squad C starting in January. Their anti-armor is only 30, anti-soft is 27, right? My Raider squadrons have the same anti-armor, but they have an anti-soft of 40. Now, this is the best troop I can get, right? Now, if we go down and look at his best troops, the U.S. Raider squadron here, I think he did the 43s. He bumped them up, so he gets 55, 40. So he has a better anti-armor, but we have about the same anti-soft. So we should be able to trade 1-to-1 or be close to it, right? You know, obviously, like his actual U.S. Marine Corps rifle squadrons, 44, 43. I mean, I have a few sections that can stand toe-to-toe. Obviously, my regulars rifle squads, C squads, will get wrecked by Marine Corps. They'll get wrecked by the rifle squadrons. There'll be a lot less than those. They're less than the para squadrons. They're a little bit less than the regular rifle squadrons in the U.S. There's like 42 are better than my regular ones, the best I get, right? So you don't have those right away. So, and then, you know, he has New Zealand. I think these guys each got the max one they get for the New Zealand's. He bumped the Indian infantry up to the best that he gets. Which ours is better than the Indians. The Chinese squadrons won't really matter, but he did bump up the British infantry unit. So we're better than the British, the Australian, and the New Zealand in the anti-soft department. Anti-armor is bad, but hopefully at that time those troops start getting into play, we'll have Tigers, and the anti-armor shouldn't make a whole bunch of difference. Our hope. We will be landing, obviously, the first turn. We'll be taking Guam. We'll be taking Wake first turn. Our initial assault. So that is our plans. We'll be moving troops out. Initially, our named assault is going to come out of Taiyuan. We're going to be pushing in to the north of Sian to try to cut some of these guys off as much as we can. And then we're going to do a pincer movement to encircle Changsha. So we're going to put a attack out of Ikchang to Chengte, and then maybe onto Chengqing. And then we're going to railroad a bunch of troops down to Wuchang. They will move to Nanchang, and then over, bypassing these guys. We'll probably set a division here in rough terrain, just to keep them locked up while we go this way and hit Pinsing with another attack to the south. So basically we'll send a division to lock these guys down, and we'll send these guys this way here. Once we break through here, we'll go straight for Hanyang, and we'll try to encircle as many of these guys in Changsha as we can. We're trying to draw as many troops or extra reinforcements up to these areas or encircle and get these guys cut off. Our reinforcements, if they come online in Cameron Bay, most of these are going to be going into southern China. So we'll push into Nanyang and up this way. We're going to do a full court press on China with all the forces we can spare, with all our unrestricted units pushing into Burma and then maybe India from there. As divisions get wrecked in these assaults, we're going to buy them out for cheap, ship them back to Shanghai, rebuild them in Shanghai, and then they will proceed to head over to Burma or other points from there. That's our plan right now. So this is the first video. This will come out tomorrow, which is Tuesday. I believe it's the 24th. The next day will be a Yokum turn. I'm going to probably try to do a video a day. I'm going to try, guys. But that following day will be Yokum's turn, and then we'll do Dean's game with that. As I record this, we are already on the 16th. No, 16th. We just ran today. I just did the 17th today. So we're about 7 or 8 days played already. So that's why I'm kind of giving out intel, because if he watches this video, it's going to be long. Other than I just told you my long-term plans, but I don't think he will. But it's the nature of being a YouTuber. Somebody can, you know, copy or cheat. So, but that's pretty much what we're going to go with for this campaign. So I will catch you all next time.